The morning I found a stranger's RV on my empty lake cabin lot, something in me snapped like an old dockboard in winter. That land isn't just dirt and taxes. It's where Dad taught me a fisherman's knot with hands that smelled like outboard fuel and cedar shavings. Where Mom poured coffee from a dented thermos and said, "Listen to the water when you can't hear each other." I've been saving to rebuild since the storm took the cabin last spring. For now, it's a clean lot-stone fire ring, a flagpole, and the water line. And that RV sat square on the flat spot where the new porch will catch sunrise. I eased my truck onto the shoulder. Gravel crunched under my boots, so did my patience. The RV windows were blacked out, the kind of tint you buy when you don't want folks to know you're home. Orange extension cords ran to my utility box. The panel I'd locked? Padlock split on the ground like a pistachio shell. I breathed. Counted to 5. Then here she came, HOA President Karen. Stiff haircut, brisk walk, clipboard for a shield. "We had to make an exception," she announced. "Community event. Overflow accommodations? Temporary? On my private lot?" I asked. "Unimproved lot," she said, smiling tight. "Covenants allow reasonable community use in extraordinary situations. It's right here." "No, it isn't. I know those covenants like my palm lines. 20 years of dues will do that." "Who's in the RV?" "A guest. You haven't built yet." Neighborly thing to do. Neighborly. My jaw clicked. I glanced at the flagpole. I'd run Dad's folded flag up there the night before, because the lake finally felt honest again. Seeing that flag above a stranger's RV felt like somebody wearing my father's boots as a costume. "I'm giving formal notice," I said, writing the date and time on a sticky note. I posted it on the RV door, snapped a photo. "Move it by sundown," Karen chuckled like she already knew the ending. "You don't want to fight the board. It'll only cost you." Behind her, the lake breath-twined, stippling the surface, a pair of loons calling. I wasn't fighting to win a point. I was fighting because that shore is kin. Tom ambled up, retired air guard. Good eyes, slow smile. He plowed our road the winter Dad got sick. "You seeing this circus?" "I'm seeing it." He looked at the broken lock and the cords. "They forced your box. That's theft of service in this county." I took more photos. Lock, cords, survey stakes. Karen called over her shoulder. "You'll be getting a letter." "You'll be getting one too," I said, calm as a level beam. Dad's voice at the county clerk's office. I slid a folder of deeds across the counter, still smelling faintly like Mom's cedar chest. The clerk, kind eyes behind librarian glasses, pulled the HOA filings and highlighted the exact opposite of what Karen claimed. Private lots aren't common areas. Community use requires written permission. Tampering with power? Code violation. She stamped copies and slid them back with a look that said, "Go on now. You'll also want a no trespass notice and a certified letter," she added. "Keep it boring. Land and law prefer boring." Back at the lake, sunset hung like copper. Barbecue smoke floated from inside the RV. 2 lawn chairs leaned into my view of moonrise. I relocked the panel with a steel hasp, posted the no trespass sign, and taped the clerk's excerpts to the RV door. Then I went home, poured coffee into Dad's old mug, and wrote the letter. By starlight, I'd calmed to steady. Not chasing noise-stacking paper, dates, photos, stamps. The lake doesn't scream when wind pushes it. It leans, holds, waits for morning. At 6 a.m., fog hugged the water like breath on glass. I hand-delivered a copy to the HOA box, mailed the certified letter to Karen, and slid another notice under the RV wiper. Move it by sundown. At 6:30, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. A man, smug and sleepy. "We're not moving." The president said it's fine. I watched the flag lift in the faint breeze. "Then I guess we'll both find out," I said, "what fine means." I poured another coffee and studied the spot where my porch will face the day. Dad didn't raise me to let anyone park their noise on our peace. Not the HOA, not anyone. Before noon, I filed a police report. Not for sirens because paper matters. Trespass. Damaged lock. Power tampering. I handed over photos, clerk highlights, the certified receipt, and the covenants clause. No overnight parking of RVs except inside enclosed garages. Never on unapproved lots or common easements. The officer, mustache and polite tiredness, read quietly. We'll log it. If they refuse, call non-emergency. Ask for a deputy to keep the peace. Next, I called a tow company with clean trucks and the owner's name on the door. The dispatcher asked all the right questions. Signage. Notice survey map. I had them. We'll stand by, she said. But on private disputes, we only roll with a deputy present. Keeps everyone honest. Honest tastes good. By mid-afternoon, Karen had a small audience on the lane, golf carts lined up. Clipboards, sun hats, store-bought cookies on a folding table. A show. She read choice lines from the covenants about community spirit and temporary allowances. Not a word about consent or property rights. Tom stood a few feet behind me, arms crossed. Want me to call Doug? He whispered. Who's Doug? Deputy Douglas Henley. Straight shooter. We'll keep it by the book, I said. Non-emergencies, sending someone at 5. 5's good, Tom grinned. Shadows tell the truth at that angle. Dad used to say that. Karen strode over with 2 board members filming on their phones. We've reviewed our position. The guest remains until Monday. The board won't be intimidated by private threats. No threats, I said, showing the stamped clause. Read this on your camera. Private lots are private. Use the clubhouse or your own driveways. Not mine. She smiled for the phones. This resident has a history of known compliance. His dock exceeded length. 1 week, I said, and we cut it to code. You know that. She waved me off. We'll see you at the hearing. The crowd murmured, the way crowds do when they prefer confidence over facts. At 4:58, a sheriff's SUV rolled up. Gravel hissing, sunlight in the windshield. Deputy Henley SquareShoulders.com. Eyes shook hands and asked for papers. I gave him everything. Deed, covenants, highlights, photos, letters. He read slowly, lips moving, giving the words their weight. Karen tried to interrupt. He raised a hand without looking, silenced the room. He inspected the breaker panel, noted gouge marks, photographed the hasp, circled the RV, clocked the leveling jacks biting my gravel and the sewer capped. Then, ma'am, he told Karen, you don't have authority to place guests on someone's private property. Not under this language. And you certainly don't have authority to break a lock and use someone's utility. We did not break, she started, ma'am, he said, gentle but final. Then to me, do you want us to supervise a private tow? I do, Karen stiffened. We'll sue the tow company. And him. You can file whatever you like, Henley said. Today, we're clearing a trespass. He keyed his radio. Dispatch, Unit 31. Roll Lakeside Towing to Birch Lane, Lot 12. Private property removal. Deputy on scene. 20 minutes later, the flatbed eased down the lane. The driver walked the RV with his camera, 2008 Class C, white, leveling jacks down. Front wheels at survey stake. He filmed the no trespass sign, my dated letter, the covenant clause, and the crowd, which got very quiet when they realized the camera could see them. The RV door opened. A sunburned guy in new boots stepped out. You can't tow me? The president said it's allowed. Sir, Henley said, you were notified. You're trespassing. Gather your personal items and step aside. He turned to me. Okay with clothes and food? Of course, I said. This wasn't about cruelty. It was about respect. This is an overreach, Karen hissed. Funny word for consequence, Tom muttered. The flatbed sighed down. Chains clicked. Winch hummed. Straps cinched. The RV climbed the ramp with a groan, as if even machines know when they're wrong. Underneath, 2 deep ruts marked where it had dared me to move it. Henley filled out his clipboard. Sir, he told the sunburned man, you'll pay the tow before release. The property owner may pursue civil damages for trespass, lock damage, and utility theft. Settle quick. To Karen, I'm noting that you facilitated the trespass. The county attorney may want to chat. You'll hear from the board, she said. You'll hear from the county, he answered. Have a nice evening. The flatbed pulled away. RV tilted like a bad idea leaving town. The lane widened. The lake exhaled. Neighbors drifted home, voices low. Karen packed her cookie table with more noise than necessary. Tom clapped my shoulder. Shadows told the truth. Thanks for standing here, I said, after the crowd cleared. I raked out the ruts like combing a kid's hair before church. Reset survey flags. Straightened the no trespass sign. Slipped the split padlock into my pocket. Evidence and reminder. Some folks don't hear the lake until the sheriff talks. Some never hear it. I don't live for them. As light lifted off the water, sat on Dad's old stump and felt the cyclanger, disbelief, action, and the quiet that follows doing the right thing the right way. Stars came on like old friends finding their seats. I heard Mom's thermos lid in my head. Listen to the water. I did. Home was reclaiming itself. The board called a hearing the next week. I showed up in clean jeans with my folder. The clubhouse smelled like lemon cleaner and quiet judgment. Karen sat centered at a long table, 2 board members on either side, a few neighbors in folding chairs. Tom in the back, cap low. Eyes bright steady as a set post, Karen opened with a speech about extraordinary circumstances, community needs, reasonable solutions. Then her trump card. We've decided to waive your next quarter's dues in recognition of any inconvenience. The room blinked. You don't trespass on a man's land and tip him like a waiter. When it was my turn, I didn't raise my voice. This isn't about dues, I said. It's about my parents' place and how we treat each other. I set the split padlock on the table. Small, heavy sound. Then the clerk stamped copies. The deputy's incident number. The tow receipt. A photo of the extension cord in my box. I read one sentence, slow and plain. No recreational vehicles shall be parked on any lot unless fully enclosed within a private garage erected on such a lot. Paper cut through. The room cleaner than any speech. 1. Board member with kind eyebrows cleared his throat. Madam President, I'd like to speak. He continued, this was mishandled. We owe Jack an apology and the community a better example. He turned to me. What will make this right? I don't want blood, I said. Reimburse the tow standby and gravel to repair the ruts. Put in writing that my lot can't be used without my consent. And publish a reminder that covenants protect everyone, including the guy with an empty lot. Through the windows, the lake answered with a soft slap on shore. You could feel the room swing back onto its hinges. They voted 2-1 to approve. Karen voted no. The pen in her hand trembled. I didn't need her contrition, just the letter and the check. A week later, the county sent notice. The RV owner cited for trespass and theft of service. The HOA president formally warned for facilitating the trespass. Future incidents would trigger fines. The letter didn't strut. It did its job. I pinned it under a sketch of the new cabin. When the tow company confirmed payment, the owner himself came on the line. 25 years in this business, he said. Most folks want vengeance. You wanted paperwork? Paper's quiet, I said. Quiet wins by morning. Your dad teach you that? In his way, I hired a local kid to spread fresh gravel where the RV had sunk its weight. Hard worker, good listener. We set a few flat stones by the water where Mom used to stand watching from my boat. I planted 2 cedars by the lane and told them, out loud, to grow straight and mind their manners. Talking to trees keeps me honest. At sunrise a few days later, a car rolled up. The sunburned man stepped out, hat in hand, swagger gone. I came to apologize, he said. I didn't know. I should have. I'm sorry. Thank you for saying it, I told him. You could have made it worse. I nodded toward the lake. This water raised me. It doesn't do worse for sport, it does right, then gets quiet again. He handed me an envelope gravel reimbursement on top of the HOA check and left. Not everybody learns. Some do. That's enough to keep a man from turning to stone. When I finally set the new porch stakes, Tom brought a level and a thermos. We worked in easy silence, the kind that makes a hammer sound good and sweat mean something. We squared the first corner, so morning light will push through the kitchen window and lay a gold bar. Across the table, same as when Dad whistled and Mom. laughed about everything, and nothing. That evening I ran Dad's flag up the pole. It caught the wind like it remembered the steps. The lake lay glascomtha, kind of stillness you don't demand. You just accept. I thought about Karen, clipboards, and cookies, and how some folks confuse control with care. I don't hate her. I don't plan to. But I won't let anyone park meaning on my land and call it community. She can make 100 speeches. I'll keep my papers, my neighbors, and my calm. Dad used to say there are loud wins and good ones. The good ones don't need parading. They sit on the porch with you and watch the day go down. Here's what I learned, in case it helps someone. Standing up for what's right isn't always a march or a shout. Sometimes it's a stack of boring documents, a straight spine, and a deputy who reads slowly. It's raking out the ruts and planting two-seaters where something rude tried to take root. If an HOA or any loud neighbor ever tried to redefine your home, you're not alone. Tell me your story in the comments. I read every one. And if you believe family, legacy, and simple fairness are worth defending, hit subscribe. We're building more than a cabin here. We're building a porch that faces east, where mornings start with coffee, a flag, and the kind of quiet that wins by morning.